welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by Lisa Wilcox. It's very good to have you back.
Well, hello. Nice to be back. Thanks for having me.
Of course, yes. And you got a new film coming out next month, just a few days, I guess. And that is My Bloody, or not My Bloody Man, The Bloody Man. He's everyone's Bloody Man, I guess. The Bloody Man.
Yes, The Bloody Man.
Yes.
Dun, da-da, da-da-da-da-da.
If people not familiar yet, can you give them an idea of what The Bloody Man is about?
Ooh, a little one-liner. It's I'm not good at that. Ask the director. What I will say is that the kids are amazing.
Uh-huh.
The kids are amazing. It's like a PG-13, and it takes place in the 80s. Yay, we love the 80s. And it's like a cross 80s and Stranger Things. Let's just kind of call it it definitely has elements of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the kids, which are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. And the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s.
Yeah. So why do you think that's been so popular the last few years, the 80s? You think people who grew up in that era are now making movies?
I think that has a very good possibility. Yes, that, all those, were kids in the 80s are now, full grown men and women and have become their own writers and directors and producers and all that, and have a fondness for the 80s. It's interesting. It's because like my sleepover time was the 70s. So, we'd have our overnight with our girlfriends and stuff. And the 50s was our thing. And we would dress in 50s clothes and we listened to 50s music all night long. So I think there's some kind of pattern regarding nostalgia, anyway.
Yeah. It's weird to think about though, that I guess now actually be the 90s is the same today as the 50s would have been in the 80s, but
okay, if you add up the decades.
Yeah, that seems
but I think it's interesting because there was a time when every kid we were all into the 50s in the 70s.
Yeah. Did you see the new Elvis movie? Speaking of the 50s
No, I have not had a chance, but I am so want to see it. I just watched an interview of the lead actor who played the Elvis. He looks absolutely just darling too as a person. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll go this weekend.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin my horror cred, but yeah, I went to see it last week. It was great. You did a great job. So how did you get involved in the Bloody Men?
Well, they just called me and I knew them from the conventions and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
And we would hang out or whatever, and then they brought this script that to my attention. I read it, thought it was pretty awesome, and I said, yes.
Does that happen a lot when you're at the conventions? People come up, and I guess that's a good and bad thing. They could come up and pitch something, and they might not have any money. Not that everything's about money, but or you also find cool people to work with.
Well, what I always say is to send me, here's my email, send me an email, or here's my agent and send it to my agent. Because there's just not time to hear a pitch at a
right.
show. And they're just at the conventions, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And, I'll get Instagram messages or a Facebook message. The preferred way is definitely through email. My agent, which you can see who to send it to on my IMDb. But it's fine. I'm happy to, whatever. And it's always fun to get a message about a film. And I'm like, sure, send it to me. Let me read it. And, but, always asking, are you funded?
Right.
Because we actors, we don't want to spend time, it takes a couple hours to read a script, and so I don't want to, if there's no funding, it's like, let me know when you have funding, but sometimes too, they'll ask, well, what's your going rate? Blah, 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 and that kind of thing. So anyway, somehow it kind of works. And I've done quite a few independent films and and some great material and great characters, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Along those lines, what would you look for in a script if someone offered you something or the character?
Well, I just got to read it like a good book. You know, if I finish it and I go, oh, that was a really fun ride, or, you know, I'm whipping through the pages going, oh my gosh, this is so intense and fun and great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those kind of things, you know, as far as subject matter, you know, I'll pretty much do anything as long as it's not X-rated.
Right. All right. Well, I won't. No, I'm just kidding. But so the what was it about the Bloody Man that interested you before you start making it?
Well, I love that it was set in the 80s. And I love that I get to play a mom, because I have not gotten to play many, like, I'm trying to think, this might be the very first mom role I've actually gotten to play. And so that's what intrigued me. Definitely. I'm like, yeah, I get to play a mom, because I played everything from nuns to prostitutes, right?
Right.
So now I get to add mom, you know, in between those bookends.
That works. Is this the first time you worked with Tuesday Night since Nightmare on Elm Street 4?
It's the first. Well, we don't actually have any scenes together.
Mm-hmm. I've seen.
But we're in the same movie.
Right.
And we're in another project we don't have scenes together.
Okay.
But we're in the same project. So I have actually, we have not actually gotten to work together yet, which would be phenomenal one day.
Yeah. Now, did you keep in touch, you know, before the conventions, or is it, you know, when the conventions start that, you know, you get back in touch together?
No, we stay in touch. Well, the whole cast, we stay in touch. Like Toy Newkirk, we talk all the time. Brooke, we stay in touch. Danny and I just did a film together with Mark Patton as well.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And that was a lot of fun in Kentucky as well. Interesting enough, because that's for Bloody Man film. Yeah, no, we're like, you know, we're like family, you know. It's definitely you know, Ken Sagos, I see more, it's more at conventions and stuff, but anyway, it's kind of special actually that to have this, you know, bond.
Yeah. You mentioned Kentucky. I didn't realize it was filmed in Kentucky. I think most people think, you know, everything's filmed either in LA or New York, maybe Atlanta. What was it like to film in Kentucky?
Oh, it's so charming. It's just, I love it because it, you know, one of the great things about being an actor is I've gotten to see like all different parts of the world, you know,
right.
And Kentucky is so beautiful, and the little towns and it's so charming. It was wonderful. And this, we did a lot of we did almost all location filming actually. It was just great to explore the countryside, and the crew was great and very professional. So yeah, I'd do it anytime. I'm filming in Kentucky again in September.
Oh, cool. Did you go on the Bourbon Trail? I was on the Bourbon Trail before I don't drink anymore, but at the time I went on the Bourbon Trail.
I didn't get to do the Bourbon Trail because the interesting thing is, as much as we're working and we get to film in these towns and stuff, but then it's like I have to
you
get
don't
back
want to
home.
do that while you're right.
So I so rarely get a chance to stay an extra day or two to, you know, do my own, you know, be a tourist kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, I'm happy what I've gotten to see and experiment.
Yeah. So you said you got to play a mom, and you mentioned the child actors. What was it like, you know, working with the child actors?
Oh, they were just darling. They were just open, and they really were open to bonding, you know, like we had some time which they're setting up a shot. So, you know, we started, you know, I don't remember what, but we started some Candyland or some kind of game, you know, while we're waiting. They're just so like open and in innocence, and, you know, they look up to you. And I don't know, it was really fun because I have not worked with kids before. So it was really special.
Yeah.
Well, I take it back. I worked with Jake.
Okay. I thought you were like Jacob in Nightmare 5.
That's the last time I think I was a mom. Was Nightmare 5.
Oh yeah. That right. That's weird. We mentioned didn't play mom before, but I guess it's a different kind of mom.
It was a different kind of mom because it was all in a nightmare until the last scene in the movie, and I actually have my baby. You know.
Yeah. Someone actually asked a question about that. Church Jackson on Facebook. Would you ever want to do a legacy sequel where you play Alice again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's time. It's time, and what the heck happened to Alice and Jacob anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, he even brought up where your son would have to contend with Freddy.
Yeah, and I think that would be a great twist, and I think, Alice maybe dies defending her son, who's maybe now a grown young man, but still she sacrifices herself for her son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what are your thoughts on fan films? I know it's kind of controversial. Some people are, against them. Some people, it depends. What do you think of them?
Well, I don't think that's fine. I mean, why not? I think it's a celebration of something you love, So I see absolutely no harm in it whatsoever, And as long as you are professional and funded and all that stuff, and I think it's a great, why not?
Yeah, that's good. The Bloody Man, did you get to see the finished film?
Yes.
So what did you think of the finished film when you get to see it?
I really enjoyed it. I think it's very endearing, and it's fun, and the effects look amazing.
Yeah, they do.
I think they did a great job.
Mm-hmm. It was fun seeing Tuesday Night Fight herself in the movie, not to spoil anything, but yeah.
Right. No spoilers, but yeah, it was really fun to see her performance. It's really rocks.
And it's getting really good reviews. Do you read reviews for your movies?
I'm so old fashioned. It's like I used to read reviews like in the TV Guide and magazines and newspapers. So I don't even know where to go to read reviews. Tell me, maybe you can help me out here.
Well, nowadays, really, it's like websites mostly.
That's what I mean, websites and stuff. Yeah. And I don't know what websites to look up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, if I just say websites too, because there's a lot of things vary. There's people who just like basically hate everything. So I don't know. I'll find some links for you and send you some.
Would you mind? I would love it.
Yeah, because the ones I've been reading have all been really positive.
Well, that is really good to hear. In fact, another film I did, he sent me an Instagram message, and someone had put together a movie night that you watch on your computer or your iPhone. And they were reading this movie, Mystery Spot, it's called, and whatever. And people were making comments and this and that, and, really enjoying my performance. And this, I was like, I just don't know how to access this stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Interesting. Anyway. Yeah. We do a virtual film festival. It's all short films, but it's very fun because everyone comes and like you said, they chat along to the films and the filmmakers are there.
All this stuff. It's really cool. But again, I feel like it's a mystery to me on how to access this stuff. So anyway, I'm old. What can I say?
No, we'll help you out. So is there anything we'll get back to the Bloody Man, but I want to know, is there anything you can say about the Killer Babes and the Frightening Film Fiasco, which I had to read the title because I can never remember that, but it's one of the most amazing titles I've seen.
It is an amazing title, and I'm very impressed that you got it down. And this was something that was actually supposed to start before COVID, and all that, and still waiting to see when they're going to be able to pick up the pieces basically and get it to happen. But Debbie Rochon's going to be in it. They already found a fantastic location that this was going to film at. I love this movie so much, and just waiting to see, when we got to, reschedule it basically. Yeah. I mean, it was scheduled to film. It was set.
Yeah, actually, my friend and co-host on the show, Trista Robinson, is also in it. So I am very excited about seeing it too. Hopefully it gets.
You mean it's already filmed?
No, she's scheduled to be in it, I should say. But yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm sure she loved the script too. It's a very powerhouse female film, and yeah, I can't spoil it, but it's something I just so want to happen. Please let it happen.
Yeah. So, did you, when you saw The Bloody Man, did you see it with any people? I don't know. Did it do any festivals, or did it do any like a screening, cast and crew screening?
I don't think, no, we didn't have a cast and crew screening because we're in LA,
Right.
West Coast, and
Oh, right, in Kentucky, yeah.
but Daniel Benedict did send me a disc. So I just watched it in my living room.
Very good. Yeah. Would you work with him again? What was he like? Was this his first feature? I should know this.
I think so, but he and his wife Cassie, I just adore them. Just adore them. They are just the coolest people. And so yes, I would absolutely work with them again. You know, in this industry, it really kind of ultimately comes down to, even in the big movie industry, you know, the big, even episodic, or, you know, and independent films all over the place. It's like, it really comes down to, I had a really good time with her, I'm going to hire her again. Or, you know, it's really about who you get along with. You know, there's just no room for egos and things like that. You know, it's like, we're here to make a great product. Let's have fun doing it.
It sounds like silly advice, like it should be common knowledge, but it does come up on the show a lot that, like, if you're nice to people, they'll want you on set. And if you're not, you know, they probably won't want you around. So it not only does it help, obviously, to be talented, but if you're someone people like to be around, you're probably gonna,
it makes a difference,
stuff,
you know, and not be a pretentious nice, you know, like generally be nice and happy to be there and be inquisitive, and if you're funny, even better. People are going to love having you around, you know? So yes, talent is definitely an element, but that's in general, not the whole picture.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned, you were joking earlier about, you know, not knowing about, like, getting to the chats for different things, and, you know, where to find the reviews and stuff. So just over the years, do you have to keep up with some of the things, though, like the rise of streaming, kind of the physical media is still there, but it's not as important, and you know, just keeping up with, like, the different changes in movies.
It's on how you find them, and even looking up podcasts. I don't know how to look up podcasts. I have no idea. You know, Facebook, I guess, if I know the name, and then I look, you know, anyway. And like you said, they keep changing the platforms and this and that. And it's not my, you know, technical stuff is not my thing, you know, but I know I'm missing out on some stuff. I mean, I would say generally the directors I work with, they'll like this one guy, Mel House, he let me know, you know what I mean? Oh, check this out. And of course I'm looking at it and like, I don't know how to check this out, but he sent me some of the streaming lines and, you know, whatever. So, but yeah, it is kind of an ever-changing world, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then one day they're going to go back to newspapers, just like, you know, everyone wants a record player again.
Yeah, that'll be the retro version.
Yeah.
I know, even when I started the show, though, it was before podcast was a term. It was 2005. And then, like, I remember one of the listeners told me, like, oh, you should put it on this new thing, like iTunes. And
oh my gosh.
Because at the time you just could download it off the website. And people, you know, join MySpace and Facebook and all these things.
Yeah, I know. It's always, and now even on our phones, what we had so many things, and now it's TikTok. And it's like, no, I do not have a TikTok. I am just fine with just doing my regular Instagram and posting pictures. And again, I envy people where they, you know, I'll TikTok will come up, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, look how they added words and music and this and that. That's so cool. It just doesn't, and they love doing it, I'm sure. I just don't, it doesn't draw me. I'd rather read a good book.
I would agree with that. I will admit, maybe I'm ashamed, but I did just join TikTok, and mine's just full of clips of my interviews. So I don't think I'm probably doing it right, but.
And it's great. And you have to do it for your business. I probably should be doing it for my business, but I only have so many places. We have so many. In the old days, you got home and you had an answering machine to check, okay, for messages, right? Then you would check your mail to see if, you got a thank you note from somebody, or you know what I mean? Now it's like Facebook fan page, Facebook friend page, Instagram messages, then, it's just, and then just voicemail on our phone, then emails, hello, oh my God, if I get asked again to confirm my dental appointment, I'm gonna scream, okay? It's like, yes, I'm coming. They remind you another day, the next day. People, stop it. Anyway.
Yeah, I
to me, look at me. I'm already getting like high blood pressure talking about it. It's just like you're just pulled in so many different directions, and to answer and respond, it's
I agree.
Exhausting.
I also think that when you have all the different social medias, it's almost like, am I just posting the same exact thing to the same people on just several different, like tweeting the same thing I put on Facebook that I put on Instagram? It's almost like all the same thing, but.
Copy and paste, you mean?
Right.
I guess so. But Facebook doesn't always work on my iPhone or my iPad. It always works on my computer. So I tend to try to do Facebook on my computer, but I'm not on my computer every day because I generally check my email on my phone. And you know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know, it's just meandering through all of this. And I know I'm just being an old-fashioned fool. And again, I admire anyone who's good at it and enjoys it, and Twitter. Oh gosh, I have a Twitter account, but I stopped putting stuff on there several years ago, because it's just way too political. And for me, people are just really mean, like they're like, why do you always just put up pictures from Nightmare on Elm Street? And it's like, well, because that's what I want to put up. What is your business? And guess what? That's in general what people like to see. You know what I mean? But I found people just kind of jabby on Twitter.
Oh yeah. I'm not a fan of Twitter either. I have it honestly just for the show, but I don't like it in there.
Yeah. So if I've offended any Twitter lovers out there, good.
Take that, Twitter.
Take that, Twitter.
Yeah. I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions here from the Facebook, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Brian Smith, were you a fan of the Elm Street films before getting involved in the franchise?
Oh my goodness, I was a huge fan of the Elm Street films, not just the Elm Street films, but ever since I was a little girl, I've always loved horror. On Saturday mornings, it would be when I was little, it was cartoons in the morning, and then about 11:30, the Monkees. Do you know the Monkees show?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, hey, we're the Monkees, and all kinds of great music. And then after that, they played black and white horror movies like Dracula's and Frankenstein's and Twilight Zone and all that stuff. And I absolutely loved it. So I fell in love with horror very early on. So believe me, to have had the opportunity to even audition for Nightmare on Elm Street, much less get a role, was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, that's great because, sometimes I'm sure some of the people at conventions, not all of them are horror fans, and I just hang up on them. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, but it is cool that someone who grew up a horror fan, became a big part of one of the biggest franchises.
Yeah, no, let me put it this way. I went to UCLA, and I first year stayed in the dorms. So, and you have to share the room. So, all the girls on the dorm floor had like Bruce Springsteen posters on their wall, or Styx, or something like that. On my wall, I had a ginormous poster of Bela Lugosi.
Oh, very cool. I've got Bella here behind me. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sure they must have thought I was a weird chick, but I don't care.
Yeah, especially, now, because when I grew up, I was a horror movie fan in the 80s, and it wasn't, it wasn't the coolest thing to like weird horror movies, but now it seems
it was not mainstream.
No, yeah. It is weird today how mainstream it is for movies. Like you can buy like a kid's shirt with like zombies on it.
I know, right. Yeah. It's now cool and hip,
Right.
Everything finds its time.
Yeah. In the 80s, I was watching horror movies and playing chess and Dungeons and Dragons. So
I love it.
So what is that what made you want to be an actor, or was horror movies?
No. I was very much a wallflower, shy kid. Read a lot of books, and I was not outgoing that way at all. And it kind of happened when I'm from Missouri, and then my dad was offered a great job in California, so we moved to Southern California. And I'm finishing high school in Irvine, and a friend that I had met said, "Oh, I'm going to this audition at Buddy Ebsen's Playhouse in Newport Beach. You want to come with me?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure." So I go, and he's going for the audition, and literally just sitting in the theater watching the auditions happen, and this lady kept tapping my shoulder, going, "You're auditioning, right?" I said, "Oh, no, I'm just with my friend, you know." Anyway, she was very persistent. So I went up and I auditioned, and I got the lead role in Lanford Wilson's The Hotel Baltimore. And then I won awards and all kinds of things. So that is how it happened. Yeah. And I got bitten by the bug. So I was doing equity waiver while doing high school, but nighttime rehearsals, equity waiver, and then went to UCLA, theater arts degree, etc.
Now you said, you weren't an outgoing person before acting. Did that change? So when you're acting, are you more outgoing and then you're still kind of the same person when you're not acting, or did that change how you are, when you're not acting?
Eventually it changed me, but I was asked a very interesting question recently, if I am more, because Alice goes, wallflower to, warrior girl. Which one am I more like? I'm more in between, or more towards the wallflower girl. I still like quiet. I like to read books, but again, I love to go to a party or go to a convention, and there I can be outgoing. It's an interesting thing that happened when I moved to California, actually. I went to Barbizon modeling school simply because my mom and sister were going out the door. I'm like, "Oh, where are you going?" "Oh, Jill wants to do Barbizon modeling school." "Well, can I go too?" So I went and I did the program, and that helped me a lot with my confidence. Learned how to use makeup, and just, I don't know, it changed me a lot. It sounds probably really corny, but it did bring me out of my shell, it did.
Yeah. So do you think, do you think about what Alice would be doing? Because I know Mark Patton has done a lot with Jesse. Beatrice Bopel, I think she has who played Freddy's mom in part 5. She's got a comic book or something coming out, I think, or a book maybe she wrote about, the character. Do you ever think of, what Alice would be doing, after the movies?
Yeah, I have, but I just don't, I'm not a writer, I've written music before, but I'm not really a writer, so I'm going to leave that to the writers. I have wanted to write a book about my life.
Sure.
And that I could do, but to actually write a story about where Alice might be and that kind of thing, I don't know. She's an attorney somewhere. Sure. She's fighting for children's rights, something like that. I think she would.
But someone else writes it, maybe
someone else can write it, and right. But I think she's doing a noble profession. If you consider attorneys noble, but some of them are.
Right. It depends. Right. It depends. Yeah. Michael, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your last name. Rewrite Thorson. Do you have any stories working on Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures TV show?
Oh my goodness. I love that you brought that up. There's nothing significant really happened or funny, but we definitely had a great time. And Don Lake, who plays my husband, Missy's husband, is so funny and so great actor. And then the kids who played the boys, they were just adorable. I had a lot of fun playing that role. It was this caricature of Missy. So I love the clothes too.
Oh, well, that's always a plus. Do you ever have say in what clothes? And
my son, I had just had my son.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a story for you. Okay, the actual audition. So I've just had, my son is 4 months old, 5 months old, And so I called my agent and said that I was willing to go out and auditions again. So I auditioned, and this was a casting director. Her name will come to me, who had hired me a lot of times for Lorimar when Lorimar was around. So I went and auditioned, and I think I had a callback with her. And my callback, I sucked. I was so bad. So I called my agent. I said, no, it was my first audition with her. Geraldine Leader, look her up. Geraldine Leader has cast a million things. Anyway, it was my first. I called my agent. I said, I sucked, Scott. I sucked. Oh my God. Can you please ask Geraldine if she'll give me another chance? Like, just give me a second chance. And kindly she did. And so I went in and auditioned again. She said, awesome, Lisa. And then I got the next call back, which is for network. You're in a room with 20 people, the writers, the producers, and network. And I got the job. So anyway, whew.
Well, that's very cool. Yeah. That was the last one. Well, no, there was other ones, but we covered most of these things. So do you have anything in the works?
Yes. I just did a Reunion from Hell. Mark Patton and Danny Hassel are in that. We did that this year. I did something called Woods Witch with Tom Sizemore. Oh. And then I did another project called Barbie Rehab. Okay. Barbie Rehab. They actually have billboards around Los Angeles. Again, this is with Tom Sizemore. We had so much fun. It's just a wild, outrageous adult comedy kind of thing. Then I have, what else did I do? Oh my gosh. I've already done 3 films this year, and then I have another one happening in September, but they're playing with the title. So, yeah, so I've been really busy. And then I'm going to be at Flashback Weekend in Chicago in August. I'm doing the Star Trek show in Las Vegas. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm on the Monopoly board, the Star Trek Next Gen. I did not know that, actually. Monopoly board. Yes, I'm a property on the Monopoly board.
That's a very I know, right? Next time you're on, I'm going to use that as part of your intro. Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm trading cards out there. I mean, it's a big deal for one guest star, but see, they get killed. They kill me, and they don't do that often on Star Trek. So anyway, yes, I'm on the Monopoly board. So I'm super excited. Jonathan Frakes will be there, and actors I worked with on the show. So I'm very excited. Then I have a show in Indianapolis. I think it's the Indianapolis show. Anyway, I'll be updating. I've got to update my website, which is lisaewilcox.com. lisaewilcox.com. If you put in Lisa Wilcox, it takes you an old website, and they never respond to you, and you won't be able to get any autographs because they want. So it's Lisa E. Wilcox. And anyway, I will update it soon. So you guys all come down, and if you haven't been to a convention, it's a fun experience, and come see me.
Yeah, it's very nice that they're back. We had, a year.
I know, right?
What did you do during COVID? Like, how did that affect you as an actor?
Well, I had 7 films that I was supposed to do. The one of which you brought up, the fabulous title, but and of course, all those are never coming back, or several of them though have done 2 of them that rescheduled basically. And then what did I do? Oh, yeah. Well, what I did, actually, interesting enough, I did a lot of outdoor events at drive-in theaters.
Oh, yeah, that's.
The convention would be out in the parking lot instead of, in a building. And actually did a 2-week tour on the East Coast with Toy Newkirk, Ken Sagos, Mark Patton, and myself. And we had a great time. So we just did what we could find to do,
Yeah, it is, it's obviously a bad time, but also people came up with creative ways, to continue to do things during that time.
Yes, definitely very creative. And then then Cameo, that came along, Cameo. Mm-hmm. And I did a lot of cameos during that time. I don't know, just survived, and gained 7 pounds.
Well, I wouldn't have known that. You look great. I walked every day and lost a lot of weight, actually, listening to audiobooks.
Yeah, I went the other route. I sat on my couch and ate Doritos.
All right. Well, I live in a small town, so there's no one around. I can walk around and there's nobody around. So it depends on your area, I suppose. So let's see. Where you mentioned your website, Lisa E. Wilcox. You could go there, and then I'm sure you could find all the links to follow you wherever people would like to follow you. Online, not your home or anything. Yeah.
It's not been updated. It's been updated this year, but I need to update for the rest of the year. So just keep trying me. Give me a chance. It'll take a week or two because the guy who does it is crazy busy and whatever. But it's in the works.
Fair enough. The Bloody Man comes out in July. That's very exciting.
Yeah. One more film.
Yeah.
Called Don't Suck. It's called Don't Suck with Jamie Kennedy. Comedian Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, very cool. Former guest here on the show. But yeah, that's advice I have for myself before every interview.
Don't suck. Yeah, exactly.
But I like the name too. I appreciate all these names of the movies. They're ones you're going to remember. They're not ones that you come and go. You're not going to forget Don't Suck, and you're not going to forget Killer Babes in the Frightening Film Fiasco.
There you go. You got it. And you won't forget The Bloody Man.
The Bloody Man, exactly. Very good. One last question. I know you obviously talk a lot about Nightmare on Elm Street, but how much does the movie mean to you? How much of those movies mean to you as an actor and just personally?
Oh goodness! Oh heavens! They're very dear to my heart. Again, I was such a huge fan of Nightmare on Elm Street to begin with, and I loved the script of Nightmare 4 and 5. But Nightmare 4 had that great character arc. In many ways, I feel like it was like written for me, as going from that wallflower kid to finding her courage, and her strength through the help of her friends' strengths, of course. So there will always be dear to my heart. Always, always, always. Alice is still one of the most favorite roles I've ever played.
Very cool. I'm happy to hear that. And thank you for doing this. It was a pleasure to talk with you.
Fun to talk with you. Until next time.
All right, we'll do it again. All right.
Okay. Ciao.
Bye.